Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back at one of my favorite locations because guess what? We have that total redesigned full-size SUV people have been talking about. This is the 2021 all-new Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. But before we get into this super-size SUV meant for off-roading, let's talk about what's going on here. The Tahoe, really that model of a vehicle in Chevrolet's lineup that brings so much to the brand. For years, many people were willing to make compromises to get behind the wheel of a Tahoe, but new for 2021, no longer have to compromise because guess what? We have an all-new spec trim known as the Z71. It's not a package anymore, it's an actual trim. Out back, we have a multi-link independent rear suspension and some technology on the interior that's gonna blow your mind. One thing is for certain, Chevrolet, going up against the other big players in this segment when it comes to full-size off-road SUVs, is bringing something that may separate themselves from the rest of the pack. So let's go ahead, let's find out, is this the best full-size off-road SUV you should be buying, or should you go to one of the other brands? Let's find out. Right off the bat, it kind of hits you smack dab in between the eyes. We got a total redesign. So up front, because this is a Z71 trim and not a package, you actually get a totally unique front fascia. Of course, you're gonna have those LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps. I love the style, and it's very interesting how they took the similarities from the pickup truck, the Silverado, and brought it into the Tahoe. But I think they did some really great work with how they laid out the daytime running lamps. And what's cool is when you turn on your turn signals, these bright white lights become yellow. Now, as we drop down, you are gonna get functional side air curtains. And the good news is they're not as ginormous as on the Silverado, but definitely giving you that unique overall appearance. Now, as we come across the center grille, absolutely digging the blacked out dark chrome finish. You got your blacked out bow tie, such a iconic brand. It's been around since the early 1900s. Forward-facing camera, gloss black on this fully functional grille. The design elements, the intricate levels of style just really stand out. You got your Z71 badge. Remember, not a package, it's a full-on trim, looking really clean. And as we work our way down, this front fascia, like I said, is unique to the Z71 because what they did was they cut out some of that overhang. That's gonna allow you to be able to go over some really steep inclines a lot more effectively than if the bumper area kind of just came down. But you're gonna get these bright red tow hooks, and then guess what? Underneath, you are getting metal skid plates along the bottom of the vehicle to protect those inner bits from getting picked up by a rock or some other debris on your off-road journeys. Another thing, with this particular vehicle, you do have not only the magnetic ride suspension, but also air suspension. So you could go from 8 inches of ground clearance up to 10 inches of ground clearance with this off-road capable Tahoe. Now, as we get up onto the hood, I like the nice bold design. They put a crease, kind of just fold it down. You get a nice rise in the center. Everything else going towards the 8 pillars. And this particular color just looks gorgeous in the Florida sun. Now, as we come around the bend, with this being a Z71 package on this, or I should say trim, it's no longer a package, you're gonna get these unique specific wheels. So these wheels are 20 inches in size. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what are the dimensions of the tire? 275 on the width and a nice beefy 60 series sidewall. It's those Goodyear Trail Runner tires, allow you to go through that terrain very effectively. Love the style of the fender and the wheel. I mean, the machined aluminum, the gunmetal gray finish, I think works really well with this setup. I know some people are probably scratching their head and saying, aren't 20-inch wheels a bad idea for an off-road vehicle? Not according to Chevrolet. Let's check out the rest of this vehicle. You know, normally I don't like badging up this high, but it looks great. The way they hollowed out the Z in the Z71 gives it that nice pop. We have black badging for the Tahoe, color match on the mirror caps, 360-degree cameras, and the turn signals built in. You do have stationary running boards that are specific to this trim. That's another thing that may make you scratch your head. Well, if this is an off-road vehicle, shouldn't you not have things hanging down like that so it gets caught on debris? Chevrolet wants it there, and it's there. And you know what? At least you have that ability to get on in, especially if you are shorter. Now, you are going to get gloss black bottom and top of the window frames that I like. Kind of sticks to that overall sportier style on this Z71 Tahoe. We have the same gloss black roof rails. I like the way that they work the nice window into the side glass here with the gloss black, kind of extended out. Good size on the quarter window with that rear pillar. And then as we get to the tail end of the business, you're gonna have a nice long roof spoiler with a clear third brake light there that's been cleared out. I like the way they have the wiper that's hidden underneath. Even the way they did the nice dark chrome finish on the tail end of the business with the Chevrolet bow tie, the Tahoe name looking really slick. And then as we drop down on this particular Tahoe, you don't have any exhaust, nothing dangling down. Of course, we got all of our towing capability underneath that plastic cover. My only zonk is that if you look on the edges, why did they have to put some kind of vent looking design there that really serves absolutely no purpose? But the one thing I do think that they hit the nail on the head is those taillights. Really great design, of course LED. But why don't we pop the hood and see what's powering our Z71 Tahoe. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath our particular Tahoe is that V8, that really tried and true tested engine format. Now, if you're wondering, well, what is the size of this V8, Joe? You're looking at a 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8, 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 7.5 seconds. The Tahoe weighs 5,866 pounds in the setup of the Z71. MPGs, 16 in the city, 20 on the highway, and top speed is governed to 115 miles per hour. Now, what's great is that having that flexibility of that naturally aspirated engine, really nice linear power delivery. Why don't we go ahead though? Another nice thing is the sound of a V8. Let's go ahead and fire up our Tahoe and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, here we are in this 2021 Tahoe Z71. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm liking the changes. I really am. I'm just curious, how much is this Tahoe? Well, basically the Z71 trim is an additional $5,700. Overall, with everything else, you're looking at an MSRP right at $69,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, you're gonna notice a big increase in material. So for 2021, nice soft touch material. It's like a chocolate brown up top, a little bit of that wood, some silver, and then you're gonna go to a tan beige color. Now the great news is the armrests are soft. It's a place you're gonna wanna put your arm. The other piece of good news is you get a Twinkie tray in the center, and down below, go to Jersey Mike's, get their full Italian cold cut special. Let them know that Joe Rady sent you, and they'll take care of you. And a bottle of good old IBC root beer to wash it all down. We have the Bose sound system. And then going from the door panel to the dash, you do have those same soft materials, the wood trim. I'm liking the two-tone they have. You have even a nice grab handle for your passenger to pull themselves in. Let's check out the glove box. What do we have? We got a box of zingers. Thanks to TJ. He is one of our Rady's Rise Patreon members. Left this box of zingers in here, but we appreciate that. Plenty of room, TJ. Thank you for showing that off. Coming down the rest of the dash, that soft touch material, the stitch work is great. What's interesting is you get this little tiny cubby, and you're probably wondering to yourself, Joe, what can you fit in this little tiny cubby space? Slide it open, what do we got? Place for 2 Twinkies, perfectly set up, and guess what? Felt lining. You're not gonna scratch your Twinkie. Good news, close it up, and then here's even better news. All new infotainment system. This is something we've been waiting for a very long time. Stitch work is great, soft touch material right below it. And I like the way it just comes up a little bit. It actually is super clean. Navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You go into your home setting. The GM infotainment systems are so intuitive. You need to get in your climate control, bam, you got your dual climate control. We could go back to home. I'm gonna keep on swiping all over the place. How about cameras? That's another thing that General Motors does very, very well. The clarity, look at the trajectory. Let's go ahead and look at the different angles. Think about when you're off-roading. You'll be able to watch specifically every corner, every side, every nook and cranny of what you're doing. And if you want to tow, you just have your hitch there ready to rock and roll. And of course you got all the other things. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw it in reverse because I want to show off. You got your 360 camera over here. We got the door open, so obviously that's going to cut down on some of the image, but the trajectory is really slick. Go back to your cameras again. Really nicely done. And I think the easiest thing is that it's simple to use. And that's really, really important. I'm going to hit the home button and we're right back home. You have your push-pull transmission selector switches and buttons for your 10-speed automatic. Before we drop down, I do want to just point up top, there's a special switch up here that I'm going to show you what it does. It's not for a sunroof because there isn't a sunroof, but I'm not ready to let that cat out of the bag. I do like the aluminum that they put here, this aluminum looking finish. I wish they would use that more. Plus you have the pockets on the side. Check it out. Say you got more Twinkies, you can fit a Twinkie in there, no problem. And then close that back up. Don't leave the door open. That's what my mom used to say. Close the door, Joseph. Okay, I closed it, Mom. You have your radio controls. Only one fake button. I've always wondered, what does this button do? What GM vehicle has the oil slick? Because I want to hit that all day long when you're getting tailgated. You do have your dual climate controls, easy to use and operate. You could turn on and off the rear AC. The zonk, just heated seats, no ventilated seats. So I am going to issue the zonk, the full zonk for that. Drop down, you do have wireless charging, USB-C, USB, and a 12 volt. No lid though. Let's give it another zonk for that. I wish there was some kind of sliding lid. 2 cup holders. Here is your Chevrolet key fob. Love this silver. Love the gold bow tie. You got your remote start. Really easy to use. And then you have your armrest. Now before I open it, I do want to showcase. I'm going to hit that switch. Watch this. Sliding. The first ever in the industry sliding armrest. So what that does is it opens up another area here. Let's say you're walking around with a 5-pound bag of potatoes. You got a potato sack. You're like, where the heck am I going to put my potatoes? Right here. Or check this out. Dun, 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 dun. Secret compartment tray. Say your significant other says cut back on the sweets. You could hide them right in this nice little tray. Just be forewarned, secrets don't make friends. But Twinkies do, and I'll close those up, and then guess what? You hit the switch. Look how nice that is. Super slick, super smooth. You got a place for your phone. Semi-soft on the armrest. Open this bad boy. What do we got? Diego Diaz, another Patreon, Ladies Rise Patreon member, left his chocolate Twinkies in here. And even though you don't have the crazy depth, you still got a crazy amount of space in here. Keep some Nature Valley granola bars for the days when you're feeling a little more ambitious. But the chocolate Twinkies, thanks to Diego, those are where it's at. Close it up. Seats. Simple, smooth, nice leather. I think over time they'll get more comfortable. Not the softest of material, but they are full electric for the passenger and the driver. The great news is that with this all-new Tahoe, because it's wider, because it's longer, everybody gets more space. It's like the Oprah Winfrey of SUVs. Everybody gets more space. The driver, mid-row, and wait until we get to the third row. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Tahoe. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You have your seat controls, easy to get to. That lower lumbar is really nice. And then, of course, one of the things I've always liked with Chevrolet products, General Motors products as a whole, is the system for the 4x4. You got your 4 high, 4 low. You could raise and lower the Tahoe with that air ride suspension, and then steering wheel. Good thickness, nice smooth leather, stitch work. There's that silver trim I was liking. Even the way they blacked out the bow tie looks clean. Nice thumb wheel controls, tilting and telescoping. And then of course you're gonna get a mixture of analog and digital display. So I like the analog tach, analog speedometer, and that center display is as clear as day, and you could scroll through a plethora, even brake pad life, all right there in front of you. Really nicely done. They do a great job with the clarity. Just one of those things that certain elements, they knock right out of the park. Let's get to the mid-row and see how your passengers are gonna like this Tahoe. All right, guys, we're in this mid-row of this Tahoe, and this is where the redesign really comes into play. Right now, I'm just listening to some music. I figure why not while I'm doing a review, just to kind of bring in some good feelings, some good vibes. But one thing that I am so impressed with, check out the 12-inch entertainment system, not only for one passenger, but I also have my own entertainment screen on my side, touch screen. It's all wireless. Check it out. We could get into our navigation. What you could do is you could actually search for certain things. Let's say you want some food. You're like, Mom, I'm hungry. I want food. Go into fast food because that's probably what you're craving right about now. And now you could actually scroll and go through the different places. Let's go to good old Burger King. Hit that. You could actually send the directions of where you want to go to the driver, and you as the driver, mom, dad, whoever's driving the Tahoe, can accept it, or you could block them out totally. So all of this entertainment controls can be done here, but it could also be done up front and just shut them off. Like they're like, Mom, you could be like, shut your mouth or I'm shutting off your entertainment. That's what my mom or dad would say to me. So you do what you got to do. But you do have little pockets in the back for your Chevrolet branded headsets, of course, if you're gonna rock out or listen to any movies or anything like that. Let me put those back in there, good pocket. 2 cup holders. We got a rear AC, which is great. USB-Cs, USBs, and a 12 volt down below. And then when it comes to seating in here, you get these wonderful captain's chairs. The arms are nice and wide. And of course, they do recline and they do slide as well. So that's another nice feature. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that third row and see what big things are in store for this Tahoe. Hey guys, where's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides? It's like a Where's Waldo? Nope, not like a Where's Waldo, but Joe Rady is safe and sound in the third row of this Tahoe. One of the great news is not only is the Tahoe larger physically, that multi-link independent rear suspension, the first year for that underneath where I'm sitting, frees up all of this space. Remember, I'm 6 feet tall. I've had plenty of room from front all the way to the back, and look where my knees are. They're not up here. They're down there, and that's what makes sense. You got your AC vents up high. I got USB-Cs back here, cup holders, and a little bit of a Skittles tray. The bad news is no sunroof. That's the one thing. No regular sunroof, no panoramic sunroof. But the good news is, and I'll show you, that this seat is still all the way back, and I still have leg room. And like I said, I'm 6 feet tall. So let's get to the cargo area, and then we're taking this one for a spin. All right, guys, time to get into that cargo area. Because of the extra width, the extra length of the new Tahoe, you're gonna get spoiled with tons of extra room. Even with the third row up, you're looking at 25.5 cubic feet of space. What's great is you got a little bit of storage area underneath for those snacks, for all those candy bars. And then if you're wondering, well, Joe, how did we put the seats down? It's actually quite simple. They have a nice little control pad here that you're gonna push, and that's gonna have the seats fold down very smooth. I'll put down that third row. You put down the mid row, you're looking at around 122 cubic feet of space. And you also have at the back, you also have a home power source, which is phenomenal. Think about going to the beach. Think about going camping, going tailgating in your Tahoe. This Tahoe just does things a lot differently than the previous generation. But why don't we go ahead, let's take it out on the road and see how the Tahoe Z71 drives. All right, guys, we're in this Tahoe Z71. You know, I know a lot of people are gonna get these and obviously drive them around mall parking lots and stuff, but what's kind of cool is with that extra ground clearance, I mean, you could literally just drive right over the medians and curbs and stuff, and you're gonna be totally competent and totally confident because you have that wonderful suspension, that extra ground clearance, and of course the skid plates underneath the vehicle. I think one of the things I really like about this new Tahoe is just how easy it is to drive. Even though it is a full-size vehicle, it's actually very easy to drive. You got that naturally aspirated V8 power, which is great. And it gives you that super smooth linear torque delivery, which is wonderful. Let's go ahead and do on throttle to get on the road here. So here we go, on throttle. Great sound from that V8. It would be nice if this had the 6.2 liter. 6.2 liter with over 400 horsepower, 420 horsepower to be exact, would just give it that little extra 0 to 60 quickness that it kind of needs. 0 to 60 though, around 7.5 seconds is still quite good, especially for a vehicle this size that is meant to go off-roading rather than just be driven on-road. Seats, they feel overall very supportive. I just wish they were a little softer. I feel like the support is there. It's just the overall long-term drive flexibility of it is just a little stiff. But other than that, they do cover, especially if you have longer legs, they do take care of that with the seat bottoms. Having the electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel is great. And also, of course, the power center armrest is just, it allows that flexibility for space and just one of those features that GM has brought to the table first. All right, guys, one of the things I definitely want to do, because this is an off-road vehicle, and I know this probably doesn't make sense, is I want to take it on the highway. I know a lot of people will use this as a daily driver, but I don't think that the tires that come from the factory are as aggressive as you think, and I think that's just going to help with the ability for this to be a daily driver. Now, getting out on the highway, you have plenty of power, super smooth, visibility is great, the side mirrors are massive, you got all the safety features you could ever want to keep you nice and safe, and then having that digital display with all the readouts, it allows you to be well informed while you are driving your Tahoe. But the magnetic ride suspension is some of the best in the industry, and it just gives you a nice supportive ride as you're going down the road. But how about on throttle? Here we go. The 10-speed does shift very, very smoothly. I just wish that there was just a little bit more power. I know that sounds crazy, even though we do have the V8, but I think with 420 horsepower, obviously this thing would have a little bit more of that go-go juice so that you could get up to speed even quicker. But getting to all the controls, very easy. Backseat passengers, especially the mid-row, are going to have a blast because of those entertainment units. The challenge is the lack of ventilated seats in here for anybody, and no sunroof whatsoever. At $70,000, I was kind of expecting those things to be present in this trim, even though it's meant for off-road. But the fit and finish, the attention to detail is on a different level when it comes to this Tahoe compared to the previous generation. All right, guys, hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of how this Tahoe Z71 performs on the road and how it could be useful each and every day as that perfect family hauler, or just hauling the stuff wherever you need to go. We're gonna get back to our undisclosed location and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day with this Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. I definitely got to thank Kyle and the rest of the crew over at Chevrolet for allowing Radies Rides access to this press fleet vehicle. It really just goes to show that you have the changes to the exterior, underneath the sheet metal, and a lot of extra goodies when you go the Z71 route. It gives you that unique look, and if you're looking for a full-size SUV that has that off-road capability, this might be the one to get and definitely add to your list. But if you want to keep seeing full-size off-road SUVs on Radies Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Radies Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She's out here working it like a champ. Show Lori some love in that comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.